Tips for learning to speak Arabic. I think I've done quite a few of those before. Walillah alhamd. I think I've done quite a few of those tips before, but I'll try to summarize just a few for you. Of course, we have the Arabic program with AMAU. It's part of the AMAU Academy. Go to amauacademy.com. You can find out more about it there, inshallah ta'ala. Major tips I have. The first thing is make it easy and make it enjoyable. I think one of the big obstacles people have in learning Arabic is they just make it incredibly difficult and burdensome and just generally, boring and quite like tiresome to actually do. And that's not because of the language. That's just because of the fact that they are learning it in a certain way. So I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing is don't beat yourself up about being perfect. Just try to make reasonable progress. If you go to the Arab-speaking world and you speak to people, you realize people who are native speakers, their Arabic is not by Arabic standards perfect. It's not by the standards of the Quran and the Sunnah and the classical language. It's not perfect. But they still are able to understand the mashayikh, and they're still able to read books and attend durus. So, at least don't beat yourself up about it being perfect at the beginning, but just try and make progress and get to a stage where you can start to benefit. Number 3, don't be shy. Shyness in learning a language really doesn't help. It's from the type of false shyness, like the shyness in asking a question that you need the answer to. Shyness in learning a language doesn't help. You have to be willing to try, you have to be willing to make mistakes, you have to be willing to listen, and you don't understand 80% of what they say, but you try anyway. You have to get stuck in. My next tip is focus at the beginning on vocabulary, because it's easy to learn even if you use English sentences, no problem. Even if you use English sentences. So even if you say, I want to drink shy, at least you did something, And if you later don't know how to say I want, but you know how to say drink, and you say like I want ashrab ash-shay, at least you're starting. It's not where you want to be in the end. Like if you're just learning a few words, and even if you use a few English words here and there, or you know how to say, for example, I want, but you don't know how to say drink, so you say uridu shy. At least you're trying. So learn vocabulary and do your best and make an effort. And I've told before the stories of a very good friend of mine who used to come with us to Hajj, and he used to just try. And without a lot of formal learning, without a lot of classes, he just used to go and get stuck in and sometimes use English words and sometimes get things wrong. But his Arabic is improving day by day, and he's at the stage where I can have a normal conversation with him in Arabic, and he might have to look up a few words, but I can actually send him a voice note discussing an entire situation in Arabic, and he sends me back in Arabic. Even though virtually no formal lessons, he did take them after that, but in the beginning, and just once a year going for 3 weeks and just trying, practicing, having a go, using a few English words, putting a few Arabic words in there, and just realizing when you made a mistake and then trying again. The next tip, structured reading, starting at the simplest thing you can find. Probably what that means is, it probably means storybooks, children's storybooks, because they're the easiest things to find that involve structured reading, age-based with progression. So you start reading books for 3-year-olds, and there's like big words on the page, like Muhammad sat down. He drank milk. His mum said, it's like every page has got like 3 words on it. And it's like super easy. But you still learn a lot. And then you go to 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, and you keep going. And eventually you kind of run out of structured reading, because people kind of stop them. The structured reading kind of stops at about maybe 12 years old or something. The sort of structured books of like where the ages are written on them, and then after that you just become, you know, teen reading for teens and things like that. It's a very, very good way of learning, and the Arabic course has, you know, a bunch of other tips. Another tip, last one I would give, is what we do in the Getting Used to Arabic program. And what we do in the Getting Used to Arabic part of our Arabic language program is repeating sentences, small beneficial sentences, over and over again. Repeating small but beneficial sentences over and over again. So could be like small, like fragments, لو سمحت, if you don't mind, or min fadlik, please, or shukran, or it could be something a bit longer, أريد أن أشتري تذكرة, I want to buy a ticket, and you just repeat it randomly mixed up in random orders, and gradually you actually start to understand the language without ever even sitting down to learn. And when you do sit down to learn, make it as easy as possible.